let's turn to the Senate. Mitch McConnell is always the source of like the ire of right-wing talk radio, the populists. But Mitch McConnell has done more for the Republican Party than probably any single person in the past, I don't know, certainly in the past 20 years. And that is, he has installed a right-wing judiciary that has not only delivered the cultural conservative red meat that the party wants, in the meantime is also destroying union power, destroying citizens' power. I mean, we just went over it. The case involving the adoption of these Native American children is really essentially a Trojan horse so that corporations can begin to exploit Native resources for their profit. That's the way this works, folks. Mitch McConnell doesn't give two craps about abortion or, wokeism or any of that stuff. But that is the key that opens up the door that allows the corporations to stroll right in and extract more. Extract more from workers, extract more from citizens, extract more from Native Americans, extract. But Rick Scott, he can extract. This is a guy who had to plead the fifth. I don't know how many times it was. Was it 40 times? Pled the fifth because the corporation he led was charged with the biggest fine in the history.
75 times.
75 times. The biggest fine in history of Medicaid fraud, or was it Medicare fraud? The biggest fine in history in this country. And so this is a guy who... Medicare fraud. And this is a guy who really wants to extract. And, here he is explaining why Mitch McConnell's got to go. Or not.
Are you yourself backing Mitch McConnell? I don't recall.
Well, look, I think we ought to have to figure out, like Larry, I think what we have to do is say, what do we do going forward? And that's what I want to do. I want to focus on how do we go forward.
All right, you want to wait and see and then go forward. Look, there
you go. Yeah. That was pretty sneaky by Kudlow to see what's going on. Rick Scott's a little bit nervous about it because McConnell has been incredibly successful, and they all know it.
And clearly doesn't like Scott.
They hate each other.
Very willing to crap on him while he's at their press conference.
Let's be clear. This dude just gave up the Senate to the Democrats by making sure that, like, Dr. Oz, that Blake Masters, that Bolduc, who else? We have Masters and Bolduc and Herschel Walker.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. But yeah, those four, I mean, doubling down on the, and right, like you said, he's the
chair of the Senate campaign committee. And Mitch McConnell 3 months ago was going, we've got a bunch of loser candidates. Rick Scott was pissed. You don't know. But Rick Scott was trying to create his own power base in the Senate. And there it is. He can't answer the question. Let's do that again. This is really a fun sort of like non-response. And Kudlow was just sort of like, wants to see where... I forget. God bless Kudlow. I mean, he's definitely feeling it. Somebody put a little coffee in his coffee today, as it were. If you know what I mean, it's usually in that coffee cup. But go ahead.
Are you yourself backing Mitch McConnell? I don't recall.
Well, look, I think we ought to have to figure out, like Larry, I think what we have to do is say, what do we do going forward?
That's what
I want to do. I want to focus on how do we go forward.
All right, you want to wait and see and then go forward. Look,
you want to wait and see and go for it. There you go.
Yeah. Yep. Got it.
You got to be prepared to answer that question, buddy. When you're like literally holding a knife in your hand, you might want to answer that question. Hey, this video is sponsored by Established Titles. What is Established Titles? It is a fun novelty gift that also helps you preserve some natural woodlands. It's a project based on historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds or lords and ladies in English. Title packs give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land with a unique plot number. So what happens is they plant a tree with every order. They work with global charities, One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future, to support global reforestation efforts. And you get one of these certificates. I'm a lord. I'm also a lady, too. I can be both. There's no reason I can't be. The first 200 people purchasing a title pack using my link will effectively be next to our plot. If you want to become a lord and lady, we can create our own Majority Report kingdom. So check it out. You can also, on official documents where they use a prefix, you can call yourself lord or lady. It makes an amazing last-minute gift. Established Titles is actually running a massive Black Friday sale right now. Plus, if you use the code MAJORITY, you get an additional 10% off. Go to establishedtitles.com/majority to get your gifts now and help support the channel.